welcome back to High School DxD Anime Review Special Number 10. This I'm reviewing the 22nd light novel of the High School DxD light novel series, Gremory of the Graduation Ceremony. Yeah, this is a book I was looking forward to reading. There are several things happen in this book. We have Issei's promotion to High Class Devil. Yeah, that happens throughout the first couple of chapters of the book. They actually sort of build this up a bit. And, like, not long after the ceremony, he's given his evil pieces. That's what they call these things. And he has a trade with Reyes and Revel's mother. From Reyes, he got Aniko and Zeneva for the positions of Bishop and Knight. From Revel's mom, he got Revel as his bishop. So he got 3 of his pieces taken care of. And then the very next day after he had this promotion ceremony to High Class Devil, Reyes and Aniko had their graduation ceremony. And they have everybody meet up in the old occult room. And then Issei basically says he'll be there for everybody. And then he does something very unexpected. He proposes to Reyes right in front of everybody, and she accepts. Yep. And then we have the setup, and then just before the proposal, we have Reyes who trades Issei for his unused rook for Ross Weiss. Yeah, she becomes his new rook. And before all this happened, before this day happened, like not long after he got his few people added to his group, he got himself a retainer. Yep. Who is his retainer? A guy named Trinner. Who is this guy? He is a dragon. He is the son of he's the second son of the old dragon who trained Issei in all of his moves. Yep. His son basically kind of becoming like his servant in a way, not one of his people pieces, but basically someone who works for him. Yep. And he also gets a chance to, like, after the proposal thing, they set up the whole rating game, and somehow he gets himself a queen. As for where this queen came from and who she is, her name is Brel Levith. I can't really pronounce her name. Yeah, she's only seen the mask, and how Issei arrives at the rating game is the most dramatic way possible. On on an airship, which is actually his familiar. Yeah, and of course they also debut their also Irina fills in for it. Basically kind of becomes his knight while becoming an official devil herself. She's still an angel. But she fills in the position of knight because he needs to anyways. And Trina kind of fills in for Issei's pawn. He doesn't take a position of pawn, but he does become Issei's pawn. He's basically kind of fills in for that. And they all debut their brand spanking uniforms. And their team is called the Crimson Dragon of Truth. Yep. And their uniforms are basically based upon the regular school uniforms, but they're all red. Yep. Who is their opponent? Aniko's father's team. I'm not kidding about this. And the rating game is not them fighting each other like it was in the way it was in Book 10. Oh no, this is completely different. Yeah, and they also mentioned the book that it's been 1 full year since events of Book 1. Yep. 22 books to acknowledge 1 year in the book. 1 year in the series. Okay, fine. And the rating game is this. You have to, of course, you can also have people sort of fight each other, but one of their goals of this one, you actually destroy objects. And of course, Issei has sort of a fighting conversation with Aniko's father, where, like, have you made out with her? Have you hold hand? Like, but he already knew about the date they went on because he kind of basically caught them on a date. This is before Issei's battle with Loki, when he was Odin's bodyguard. Yeah, he says, "Have you got to the point where you actually made out yet?" And he says, "Yes." Of course, he does not tell him that when he made that with Aniko that first time, it was a French kiss. Yep. And he's like, "Okay, now you got to that level." Yeah. And then of course he also uses the casting wheel to briefly get away with him, while Irina and Zenobia fight him. And then, of course, later on he does fight him again, and he proclaims his love for Aniko, and kind of indirectly proposes to her via this big broadcast that's going on. And yeah, it's an overall really damn good book. And of course, they win the game. Yep, and Anako's father has got no problem with him being with Anako, despite the fact she is like 1 year older than he is. And of course, he also mentions to him that she also is a damn good cook. Yep. This overall was a damn good book to read, and because I was so pumped up about reading this book because a lot of good stuff I really wanted to read for this series happened in this particular book, and finally it happened. Of course, we have Issa proposing to two women, the one directly, one indirectly, and of course his promotion, of course, getting a retainer. He also, at the end of the book, and this I thought was really weird, yeah, another woman named Irmuru, I think it's how you pronounce her name, she just completely out of nowhere, and she offers her services to Issei, and that's how the book ends. And she's still with Issei at the start of the next book, which I'll get to the next book in my next review. Overall, fantastic book. I'm trying to think, did I forget anything? Oh yeah, there was also a brief thing in the book. This happened a couple times where Issei can actually talk to Surgex and Azazel via some transmission. Some special transmission. Apparently only he can actually talk to him. Not Reyes. Of course, he doesn't tell Surgex that he proposed to Reyes, and she accepted. Yeah, he doesn't tell him that at all. Yeah, so he doesn't tell his future brother-in-law that he's marrying Surgex's sister. He did not tell him that. He also doesn't tell him that Greffa, his wife, and the mother of his only child, misses him. Yeah, doesn't tell him that. Basically, tells him that he got the promotion to high class devil. He thanked him for that. I thought it was really nice. The fact is, they also do kind of the same thing in book 23, which I'll get to that in special number 11. But yeah, and of course, they talk about the whole thing with breasts in here. It's quite funny. Yeah, of course, Azazel is love making. Like, it seems like whatever suggestion Azazel makes, Issei takes them up, and it actually works. Yeah, I should also point out, though, they have Azia in their camp during the raiding game, and get this, Revel is the team's strategist. Yeah, also at one point, like after the battle's over, Lilith, actually this was before the battle, before they started the raiding game, they had the little team meeting, you have Lilith sitting on Issei's lap, for some reason. LeFay's in the room. Yeah, in this room that they're in. I'm not surprised she's actually here because she's Issei's magician, so why not? I'm sure the people who run the raiding game have no problem with her being there because she's under contract with him, so it's perfectly fine. Also, when Issei had his promotion ceremony, his parents were invited. Though this time, this was the first official visit they actually made to the Underworld. The first time they went to the Underworld, they went there unofficially, but they went to the Underworld Hospital. Of course, the only reason why, because of Issei's parents. Yeah, that was the first unofficial visit. When he got his promotion, that was the first official visit to the ceremony. The other one was just an emergency. Trying to think though. Yeah, Trainer basically, I think it's Tanner. I think it's how you pronounce his name. The one who's the son of the old Dragon King, the one who trained Issei. He basically requested Beginner's Retainer, and he does accept him. And he does do a good part of fighting. He takes out, like, a good chunk of the team. Even Issei gets sort of this special new move called like a pseudo-dragon deformation. It's not the full one, because if he does the full one, he'll basically nearly lose his life if he does that. So he had sort of restriction on it, and he blasts away a good chunk of the field they're actually on, while also taking out 4 objects and like 2 members of Anko's father's team, which are called the Lightning Team. Yeah, he takes out about 2 people from their team. And by the time the game is over, yeah, Anko's father lost almost half his roster. He lost pretty much like his knights, his bishops. I think he lost one of his rooks and like half his pawns before he finally conceded the game. Yep. And it was second time. It was the second official rating. It was the third official rating game Issei's participated in. So officially, Issei is 2-1 for the rating games, because the first one he was in, Reyes' team lost. The second one he won. Of course, that was against Reyes' cousin. That happened in book 10. The one where he fought his first official one, though they found another dimension, not an actual regular rating game. That one, he actually fought against the guy who really wanted to get Reyes to be his wife, but lucky enough that Issei was able to break out the engagement thanks to basically breaking into the guy's house and also beating the crap out of him, and then taking her with him. And then long after that, they started living together. Yeah. I mean, it seems like ever since, like, this is not only even this book, but also the following book, there's a lot of time focused on Issei's team. Yes. I don't personally have a problem with that at all, as long as Reyes' group is still there. I mean, Gaspar is basically in the book a little bit. Mostly he's in the background, and he's mostly seen, like, doing stuff like, you hear stuff via broadcast, and of course, because of the whole thing of Reyes being out Issei's fiance, her father pretty much spoils the engagement on the air. I'm not kidding about this, he does. And she's embarrassed by the fact that her father mentioned her engagement. Yeah. Where to get this book? This book at 9.5 out of 10. It's really damn good. Yeah, it seems like since book 20, this has been it seems like it really stepped up. 19 was still a good book, but it was a bit of a step down from book 18. But it seems like since book 20, it's just been getting better and better. And I'm currently reading book 23, and it's a really good book so far. I'm only about 2 chapters in. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. This book 22 was only 6 chapters, didn't have any extra chapters, surprisingly. I thought that was a little odd, because a lot of the previous books usually had extra stuff along, like a little like short story between the chapters. This one didn't. It's just 6 full chapters. And it was only like 172 pages long. Yeah, that's how long the book was. Book 21 was 173. This was like 1 page shorter. Yeah, it seems like now they're getting a little bit longer. And it seems like the shortest book I've read so far is probably got to be at book 19. Yeah. So yeah, that's really it for this particular review. Stay tuned. Probably not today, maybe tomorrow. I may do another review. I don't think it'll be today to do review of the book 23. But this was the only video I planned to do today. There was no other video I was planning to do today anyways, just this one. Because there was no anime coming out today. Tomorrow, we hit this new episode of JoJo's Adventures coming out tomorrow, so I figured I'll review that. Plus also High School DxD. I may finish the book 23 by then. If not, probably be tonight. It just depends when I finish it, okay? But until I see you in the next review, bye.